A Limited obtained from BS Limited a lease of some coal bearing land, the terms being royalty of rupees 15 per ton of coal raised subject to a minimum rent of 75,000 per annum with a right of recoupment of short working over the first 4 years of the lease. From the following details show short working account, royalty account and BS Limited account in the books of A Limited. So we have year details, sales in tons and closing stock in tons. So what we have to do here is we have to prepare these accounts, namely the short working account, royalty account and the landlord account, that is BS Limited account. The royalty payable to BS Limited is linked with the production per ton. I mean, it is 15 per ton of production, either that or minimum rent of 75,000. So whichever is higher, that clause will get applied. But it also says there is a right of recoupment of short working over the first 4 years. So in the first in the first 4 years, if the company had suffered any short workings, then that short workings can be adjusted. So with the right of recoupment of short working over the first 4 years of the lease. So within first 4 years, whatever there is a short working, if any recoupment opportunity is available, it can be adjusted. Okay. So with this backdrop, we have to proceed. So first, let us find out what is the coal that is raised. That is, we have to find out coal that is produced. So how we are going to find out? We have sales, we have closing stock. So this information will be sufficient for us to find out what is the coal that is produced. So let us have a working note. So I'll say working note for computation of coal raised. Okay. So working note for computation of coal raised. It is nothing but coal production. And what is the formula for production? The formula for production is simple. Production is equal to, it is sales plus closing stock minus opening stock. So if you find this formula to be little difficult to understand, the actual flow will be opening stock plus production minus closing stock is supposed to be equal to sales. So it was this equation which got rewritten. Okay. So what was done is this production is retained. So closing stock transferred to right hand side. So minus become plus, and opening stock transferred to right hand side, plus becoming minus. So that's how we have this formula, that is production is equal to sales plus closing stock minus opening stock. So let us have a table like this where we'll capture year, then sales, closing stock. So basically we'll be adding closing stock. So I'll write plus closing stock, and opening stock will be subtracted. So minus opening stock, and this will give us what is known as net production. So if we can fill all these numbers, automatically we'll get what is net production. That is sales plus closing stock minus opening stock is going to be equal to net production. So let's go to 2009 position. 2009, we have 2009, the sales is 2000 tons. 2009 sales is 2000 tons, and we have closing stock which is 300, whereas there is no opening stock. So net production is going to be sales plus closing stock minus opening stock. Fine. So net production in 2009 is 2300 tons. Then moving on to 2010, sales is 3500. What about the closing stock? We have closing stock as 400, and opening stock we can pick up. This opening stock is nothing but previous year closing stock, which is 300. So now applying the formula, that is 3500 plus 400 minus 300, we get production as 3600. Moving on to 2011, sales is 4800, then closing stock is 600, opening stock automatically we can pick up from the formula, which is 400. So net production is 5000. Moving on to 2012, sales is 5600, 5,600. And what about the closing stock? It is 500. Opening stock we can pick up, it is 600, and the production is 5,500. And finally 2013, sales is 8,000, closing stock is 800, and opening stock we can pick up, which is 500. So the production is 8,300. So now we got details regarding production, and with this we'll be able to find out what is the royalty that is payable, because the amount that is payable to landlord is not only linked with the royalty, it is also linked with minimum rent. So we'll open what is known as memorandum royalty account. So here we have memorandum royalty account in the books of A Limited, where we'll open this memorandum royalty account. So we have various columns. Let's start one by one. First, let's focus on 2009. So what is the quantity produced in 2009? We have here, it is 2,300. And what is the minimum rate? What is the rate fixed for royalty? It is 15 per ton. Okay. So what's going to be the royalty? It will be 2,300 multiplied by this 15, so 34,500. But we know the minimum royalty is 75,000. So there is a shortage. So we have short workings occurred, which is 75,000 minus 34,500. And in this year there will not be any recoupment, because being the first year, so there is no question of write-off also. So this will be carried forward. Occurred minus recoupment minus write-off will be carried forward. And what is the royalty that is payable? Whichever is higher, so we have to pay minimum rent. So the 75,000 is payable. Moving on to year 2010. What is the quantity? We have quantity over here, which is 3,600, and the rate is same 15, so royalty multiplication of these two is going to be 54,000. But we know there is a minimum rent of 75,000. It means there is a shortage, so we have short workings occurred, which is 21,000. It is 75,000 minus 54,000, and there is no recoupment. So what is going to be carried forward? Whatever was there last year plus short workings of the current year minus recoupment minus write-off. So what will be carried forward is 61,500. And what is the royalty that is payable? Minimum rent, because minimum rent is greater than the royalty, which is 75,000. Moving on to year 2011. What is the quantity produced? Let's go. Quantity produced is 5,000, and the rate is 15, so both 5,000 multiplied by 15 we have 75,000. Minimum rent is also 75,000, so there is no short working, there is no recoupment, there is no write-off. Okay, so what is the royalty that is going to be carried forward? The 61,500 of previous year, nothing occurred, nothing recouped, nothing written off, so the 61,500 will be carried forward. And what is the royalty payable now? The royalty and minimum rent are one and the same, so 75,000 is payable. Moving on to next year 2012. What is the quantity? We have 5,500, and the rate is 15, so royalty will be 82,500, whereas minimum rent is 75,000. So here we don't have short workings in royalty, but rather we have excess. So this excess need not be paid, it can be adjusted against recoupment, because we have short workings 61,500. So what is the short working occurrence? Nothing, but we can recoup to the extent of this difference. 75,000, or let me put it here, 82,500 minus 75,000, 7,500. And whether any royalty will get written off? Yes, because question says, not the royalty, short working, I'm sorry, whether short workings can be written off? Yes, because question says short working can be carried forward only up to first 4 years, over the first 4 years of the lease. Okay, so whatever is the balance that cannot be carried forward, that have to be written off. How to find out that? We know the opening balance is so much, that is previous year carried forward, minus no occurrence, okay, but whatever has been recouped. So this 54,000 cannot be carried forward, it has to be written off. Okay, so now if I calculate what can be carried forward, it will be 61,500 plus short workings, we don't have anything, minus recoupment minus write-off or lapse. So nothing can be carried forward. Now the question is, what is the amount that is payable? The amount that is payable is royalty minus recoupment, so it is 75,000. Then next year 2013, what is the amount? It is 8,300 and rate is 15. So the royalty is, let me expand, 8,300 into 15, that is 1,24,500, and the minimum royalty is 75,000. So do we have any short working? No, what we have is excess short working, so that cannot be captured in this table. So we don't have any short working, we don't have any recoupment, no write off, so nothing can be carried forward. So what is the royalty that is payable now? Whichever is higher. So this 1,24,500 got to be paid. Okay, so that's about memorandum royalty. Now we'll go into the respective accounts. So what are the accounts we have? We have to open BS Limited landlord account, then short workings account, then royalty account. So first we'll finish off royalty account because that is the easiest. In 2009, what happened? In 2009, royalty is payable to BS Limited, right? So royalty account will be debited to, let me put it, to BS Limited account. What is the royalty? Let's go to this worksheet where we can pick up, which is 34,500. Now this will be transferred to P&L. So by P&L account, this 34,500. I'm not going into the balancing, totaling and all. Let me finish off for each and every year. Next, for 2010, royalty debit, BS Limited credit, and whatever the amount will go on pickup, it is 54,000, and that will be transferred to P&L, right? 54,000. Then 2011 to BS Limited, from worksheet we have 75,000, and that is transferred to P&L. 2012, 82,500 is the royalty payable, transferred to P&L. And finally 2013, 1,24,500, and that is transferred to P&L, 1,24,500. So royalty account is closed. Then short workings account. So we have some calculations in short working. First 2009, short working, and that is payable to landlord, right? To landlord account. What is the amount? Let's go to the computation sheet. We have 40,500, and this is carried down, right? So we'll say by balance carry down. How much? 40,500, and this account has been closed. So let me just put it. $40,500. Then in 2010, to balance brought down. How much? 40,500. Then there is further short working, right? So to landlord account. And how do we know that? Yes, we have in our worksheet there is a further short working of 21,000. So both put together will be transferred to next year. So it is 61,500. So we'll say by balance carry down, it's going to be 61,500. So this will get closed. Then 2011, it's to balance brought down, which is 61,500, and I think there is no adjustment in that year. So we'll say by balance carry down, 61,500. Then we have some adjustment in 2012, I believe. To balance brought down, how much? 61,500. And in that year there is some adjustment, because if you go to this worksheet, there is some recoupment. So landlord, earlier the landlord was created, now landlord will be debited, and this 54 written off have to be taken to P&L. Okay, so we'll capture that by BS Limited account, basically landlord, and the amount is 7,500. Then by profit and loss account, amount is 54,000. Then whatever is the balance, that balance will go to next year. Okay, so let's total Total is 61,500. Okay, now we'll find the balance. Okay, let me put it like this: 61,500. The balance, if you check, I think you may not get, because it is also 61,500. If you total these two, let me total them. Even if you total these two, it is 61,500. It means there is no balancing figure to carry forward to next year, because at the end of fourth year, whatever was there, if you notice, at the end of fourth year, whatever was there was completely written off, so nothing was there to carry forward. Okay, then finally coming to BS limited account, that is landlord account. So what are the entries we'll have here? In 2009, landlord, I mean royalty was debited and landlord was created, right? So first capture the entry in credit side by royalty account. By royalty account, go to royalty account. So somewhere we have it here, which is 34,500. Then that has been paid, so we'll say to bank account. How much? 34,500, and we'll close this. How much? 34,500 both sides. So 2009 story is over. Moving on to 2010. Okay, but yeah, let us not rush. We have missed out one item. Let me just delete this. In 2009, royalty payment is not 34,500. What was the actual royalty payable? 75,000. It means there was a short working of 40,500 which we missed out. It means here royalty account is debited and landlord is created. Landlord is also created for one more item. What was that? By short workings. By short workings account. And for that we have to go to short workings account. Yeah, pick up to landlord 40,500. Now let's total. So which is 75,000, right? Now that should be paid. So the payment should be sum of these two items, basically royalty and short workings. Okay, and now let's total. Fine. So this is 2009 situation. Moving on to 2010. Let's see what happened in 2010. Go to royalty account, check by royalty account. We'll go to royalty account 2010. Yes, there is something, 54,000. Then check with short workings account. Yes, we have an entry over here, 21,000, right? So let me put it. This is 21,000. Fine. So let us total these two. 75,000. So this should be paid in 2010. 2010 to bank account. How much? It's sum of these two. And let's capture the total. It's again same. Then moving on to 2011. 2011. What's the royalty amount? For that we should go to royalty account. 2011 it is 75,000. Any short workings in 2011? Nothing. No entry in short workings with regard to landlord. So we can simply copy this. Fine. Let me just modify the formula. It's probably only F11. Right? Yeah. And this should be paid 2011 to bank account. It should be this 75,000. So let me total. So 2011 story is also over. Moving on to 2012. By royalty account. For amount, let's go to royalty account, 82,500. Now whether this entire 82,500 is payable? No, because there is some adjustment in short workings. Because if you go to short workings account, there is a, on the credit side you see by BS limited account. It means BS limited account is debited. Okay, so here we'll say two short workings. It is two short workings account. What is the amount? It is something like 7,500. It means only the balance is being paid, right? To bank account. it will be 82,500 minus 7,500, 75,000, and the total is 82,500. so that's about 2012. And finally moving on to 2013, by royalty account, what's the amount? We have 1,24,500, and I think that should be fully paid. There is no adjustment in that. 1,24,500, and it has to be paid to bank account, which is 1,24,500. Fine. So in this way we have captured all the entries as well. So we have opened all the respective ledgers: royalty account, short workings account, landlord account, then we had memorandum royalty statement, and this working note. Thank you.